Welcome to Truth Speaks number 6, and right beside me I have Courtney Rowsell. She is the owner of Love Yourself Lean. And Courtney has done several Enlightenment Intensives, and sometime in June she did an online Enlightenment Intensive with me, and she had a direct experience on Who Am I? So, and then she's had a couple more ongoing experiences since then.
Yes.
And that's kind of what happens sometimes. That once you get blown open, it kind of like the ocean is open now, and everything's going to pour through. So,
That's right.
so let's hear from Courtney. So Courtney, tell us about your experiences with truth and who you are, and how did it all start?
How much time do we have?
As long as you like.
All right. So, I think that maybe for the viewers, it would be important for them to know. I've been working with you for 8 years off and on, doing many and participating in many of the programs that you offered. But EI's Enlightenment Intensives has always been something I've been interested in because I'm a truth seeker. And I want to know the truth of who I am. I want to know the truth of what is life. I think many of us, and maybe those watching, have wondered, like, who am I now? Like, I'm a middle-aged woman, I'm a single mother, I'm a business owner, but I'm more than just that. My life is more than just mothering my children and running my business. So it's like, what is this bigger meaning of all of this? So wanting to know that was why I participated in the EIs, because it gave me a container, right, to be able to explore that in a way where the intent was, which is what I had, the breakthrough of understanding what I now know is the truth of who I am, and have now gone on to understand what life is. Right?
Very good. Yeah. So tell us, so what happened for you? Like, what was the state you were in before, and then how did you break through? What was happening for you?
Yeah, I think it goes more than just deeper, more than just wanting to know the truth. I was also in deep healing. So I had been in an 8-year highly dysfunctional toxic relationship. There was addictions and mental health challenges in there. And I've now, we finally have separated. We're co-parenting peacefully, which is beautiful, but I still had a lot of healing work to do. And so the last, 2 years, I've really been committed to doing that deep, deep healing work. And so when I arrived at signing up for the virtual EI, because it was during COVID and we couldn't do the in-person, so I signed up for the online because I was just still really deep in that healing work. I was not taking care of myself. I had gained 18 pounds. I was stress eating. I was unclear in my business, in my direction. I was having some successes, some failures. I wasn't really connecting to motherhood in an easy way. Just everything felt really hard, and I felt really disconnected and out of alignment. So I knew I had to make some changes and make some decisions, but I didn't know how to go about it. And I just knew that by signing up for the EI, it would give me the space to just explore some of this stuff that felt so hard and unclear for me. And so I didn't intend to go in there with anything specific. I just wanted to create some space for me to do some continued healing work. And the question I was working on was, tell me who you are. And so I think this enlightenment was, 3 days or 4 days long? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a 3.5.
It was a 3.5 day. So the process, for the viewers that don't know, Miranda will take you, right? You take the participants through a proven process.
That's right.
Right? There's different stages that the participants will go through, and I entered the stage that you referred to as no man's land.
Right.
And no man's land is kind of like you're hanging out and you ain't getting anywhere.
That's right.
And I've had 2 experiences now of being in no man's land, and it's not a fun place to be. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. But what I've experienced is that the breakthrough comes when you stay with it and you push through it. And I remember being in this no man's land for quite some time. It was probably half day, almost a full day. And I'm not getting anywhere. I'm stuck here. And I kept getting this vision or this memory of my son in the bathroom having a major meltdown because he didn't want to brush his teeth. Now, if viewers are watching and they're mothers, they know, or fathers, they know how intense these meltdown moments can be. And my son, When he turns, it's a good hour. We've gotten it down to 45 minutes, but when he turns, and it takes him a lot to regulate, and I even have worked on helping him co-regulate, and it still takes time. So by now, I've got one child in bed, I've got another who's melting down, it's late, I'm tired, I'm starting to lose my patience. And he's curled up in the corner of the bathroom. He has this big blanket as a soother, and he's sucking his thumb and he's crying, and I'm not getting anywhere with him, so I leave the bathroom. I'm like, we're not getting anywhere, I'm just gonna leave him. And he's saying out to me, don't leave me. So I come back, and at this point I could tell, like, he had crossed over from not pushing my buttons as a child, because children will do that. I don't want to brush my teeth, they'd push your buttons. But he had gone from pushing my buttons to really being upset. Like, I could see he was very saddened in this moment. And I talked to him, and he said, and I'll never forget this, he said, why am I such a sookie baby? And the mama bear in me, like I could feel my chest puff out. I was like, who said this to you? Whoever told you this? Where did you hear this from? You are not a sookie baby. You are a 7, at that point he was 6 years old. You're a 6-year-old little boy who's tired, who just doesn't want to brush his teeth. He doesn't want to brush. I'm like, baby, you're tired. It's okay. You're tired, and I'm asking you to do something that's really, really hard right now. This is hard for you. I can see this, and I understand that. And so I said to him, I'm like, you know what? Mommy will help you brush your teeth. I'll brush your teeth tonight. I said, and tomorrow I'll ask you a little earlier to go and brush your teeth so that we're not tired tomorrow night when we do this. And he switched, he changed, and I helped him brush his teeth and held his little mouth and brushed his teeth and put him to bed. And when I was in the EI sitting there in my chair, and I'll never forget it, I in that moment of going back to that memory, when I saw my son's face crying and really truly believing, in that moment he believed that he was a sookie baby.
Yeah.
He was internalizing that. He was owning that what's wrong with me? I am a sookie baby right now.
Right.
And I went, oh my God, that's me. That's me. I've been there. I've been him. I have said to myself that I am too emotional, too loud, too expressive, too inconsistent, too this. I have been told that I am all of these things from different people when I was a child all the way to an adult. I've heard these things. I've said these things about me when I've made mistakes, when I've used poor judgment in my personal life, in my business. I've internalized that and owned that as I am all of those negative things.
Right.
False things. So when I saw my son as this beautifully pure, innocent, loving, whole child that he is, because he is that, I saw myself as a child of God too.
Beautiful.
I am perfect and whole and beautiful and all of those good things that my son is. If I'm ever not those things, it's just because of a false belief that I have, or I'm going through something where I'm still learning something as a human being.
Right.
Right? I'm just a human being having a human experience that doesn't feel so good, and I'm acting out. But the truth of who I am, it's not any of those things.
Beautiful. Very good.
And that's when I really went, oh, okay.
Okay, so
Now
what
I get-
happened? What happened? How did the shift take
Yeah,
place?
so the shift took place is that I realized, and it was almost instantaneous, so I think it'd be important to kind of share this part of, because it came to me in visions. Like, I saw the memory, and then I had this vision of, like, God's hands. So his hands were here, and I could see this motion. And in this motion, I felt pure again. I felt blessed, as if I was given a chance to go forward now in life, knowing that I am good.
Right.
That the truth of who I am is good and whole and pure. And I decided in that moment to honor that
Right.
and take that forward. So instantly in the EI, when were given breaks and we had to eat, I instantly wanted to choose healthier food. Like, I was struggling up to that point to eat healthy, but I instantly went, I am whole, I am pure, I need to honor that from the inside. So I took responsibility for honoring this life that I was given, this pure, whole, complete, perfect body, which is part of my human experience. I went forward then and started to make better food choices. I started showing up in my business more authentically. I wasn't afraid to be maybe a little bit louder, a little bit more direct, a little bit clearer in really what's on my heart and I want to share.
Okay, so you left with that open, that truth, and then you started to integrate it immediately into your life. Like it just happened naturally. It wasn't like you had to make a lot of effort.
No.
It became very clear what to do.
It came very, very clear. And the beauty of it is that I've stayed very close to that. So I've stayed close to knowing the truth because it was a beautiful, blown out experience. But it gets softer.
Nice.
As I start to go into life and I get back into all the stuff. I'm still a business owner. I'm still a single mom with 2 kids. I still have a lot to do. And there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know? And so I've had to really stay close to that truth. Because the reality is, even though I know that truth and that's who I am, it's not to say that I'm always going to show up perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? And that I'm not going to have these voices in my head, this negative self-talk causing me to doubt myself or to make me believe these things. Look at you. Who are you to think this? Or whatever the stories that are that's coming up in my mind or what I'm feeling, it's still going to show up. Yeah. Just because I'm now enlightened as to who I am doesn't mean that I'm still not going to have doubts on who I am.
That's right.
I'm still not going to have to continue to work on myself.
That's right.
So as I start to act and show up when I'm not feeling my truth, I pull myself back and go.
So you now have a reference point.
Very good. Yes. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's a point of reference. This is a good way to put it because that's kind of what I feel like when I feel like I'm off kilter. And I'm not feeling good and I'm having bad thoughts and I'm feeling anxious or negative or pessimistic or all of those things, I just go, this is not the truth. This is not who I am. So what do I need to do in this moment to bring myself back to center? What can I do to reconnect with that truth? So I make choices around my self-care to make sure that I give myself that space to come back to connect with the truth is so that I can reintegrate back into my life with that truth and show up with that knowing.
Yeah, and sometimes it comes in the form of a memory, like you remember the space you were in when that direct experience happened. And sometimes you can just go to the memory and that itself will start to relax your body and then open the mind and then you can re-enter into the vastness of that space, which is who you are.
Right.
So using memory is a helpful way of coming back.
And I think for me, and maybe for others, it's easier for us to see the truth in other people and the good in other people than it is in ourselves. So my reference point is always easy to go back to because I just got to remember the pureness and the wholeness of my children.
Lovely.
And then I always come back. So it's
that's easy.
That's much easier.
Yeah.
It's much
You
easier.
see it in them. Well, if it's in them, it's in you.
That's right. And if it's in others, so if I'm having, because I've had difficulty with other humans since I've had this experience, and I'm able to just go, okay, they're triggering me, they're upsetting me, they're whatever, so I'm able to just see the truth in them. It readjusts the truth in me. Very good. And then we interact more peacefully.
Right. And you don't project your negative thoughts onto them and then pin them down to be only that. You just connect it with yourself. You saw yourself as pure, so they're pure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me more. Like you continued, like you're processing a lot, and then you did another EI.
Yeah, so it was a couple of months after that I did the in-person EI, and the question I worked on this time was, tell me what life is. Okay. Because we all kind of want to know what life is. Like, what is this? What are we living for? What is this experience? And so I wanted to understand that. Okay. I wanted to really understand life because I want to live it. Especially now that I know the truth of who I am. I want to fully experience life. Yeah. Right? So like you said, you open up. You're like, I want to know more. I want to know more. I want to show up in life more fully as myself. How do I do that? By understanding the truth of life. And so it was on the third day again, I think, and I entered no man's land. Again. And this was longer and harder. It was 24 hours, wasn't it, Miranda? 24 hours. I sat there. I was patient. to the process, respectful of the process, but I was getting frustrated. I was getting very frustrated. I'm doing this with my hands because I can still take myself back there to what that felt like. And I was so close to leaving, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I had it. I was like, I'm done. This is not what I signed up for. This is so hard. And I was tripping on myself. My ego was tripping on me. That wasn't my truth. That wasn't my truth. That was my ego showing up.
Very good.
When under your guidance and direction, I was able to recognize that, come back to my truth. That's not my truth. That's my ego just trying to trip me out because I'm so close. So don't get tripped out.
That's right. That's what happens. The ego doesn't want you to have a direct experience because it can't be in control anymore.
No, because then you are powerful, right? Then you step into your own power.
That's right.
So I huffed and puffed and I went back, and it was a point in the retreat where we were given the space to meditate under your guidance, and there was music playing, and we were given the instruction to lie on the floor. So I was lying on the floor, fully surrendering. I go, I'm here, I'm open, and the instruction that I was given was to have an object to focus on, which is part of the process of hopefully getting out of no man's land. Mm-hmm. And so my object of my direct experience last time was my son. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, let's pick an object that is closest to me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I already picked my son. I'll pick my daughter. So I'm just grabbing things. And I remember this moment. I put my hand on my belly and I'm lying there with my eyes closed and I'm listening to the music and I'm thinking about my daughter and I'm thinking about life and I'm thinking about my life and I'm just so deeply wanting to know the truth. So deeply wanting, because now I'm agitated and I'm frustrated and I'm just surrendering and I'm like, my daughter is life, I am life, what is this? And I was reminded of something my daughter had said to me. Again, another memory. She had dressed me one day. I was walking up the stairs and she was coming down the stairs, and she didn't call me mama. My children call me mama. She didn't call me mama. She didn't address me as mama. She referred to me, at the time of the EI, I thought it was life giver, but after I shared the story with her, after coming back from the retreat, I told her, and she was like, no, mama, I said birth giver. So I'll use birth giver for the context of the story. So I've got my hands on my belly, and I'm reminded that she called me a life giver, birth giver. And I went, oh my God, I'm a life giver. I gave life. I birthed life into this world. Therefore, I am life. Mm. So the entire time I'm out there in this EI trying to grab for something that's outside of myself. Life is this experience. Life is that experience. You're living life. And it was all these outside tangible things, these physical things, these form things that I was trying to attach to, when I realized that life is in me. I am life. And life moves through me and into my children and into my children's children. It's just this interconnectedness of life, this expansive interconnectedness of life. And that was it.
So you got what life is. So
I got it.
In a nutshell, what would you say it is? Life is?
Yeah, life is, well, how about I tell how I integrated it?
Okay.
Right,
sure.
right? We'll go into that, because now I've got this truth, because this is the process, right? Is that now I know who I am.
Right.
I now know what life is. So now I go back into life. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And I struggled with it in the beginning, I'll be honest, because it felt so big. Like when you think of life, we think life is so big, but if I'm life, that means I'm really big, and this is a lot.
Yeah.
So I closed down a bit. Down a bit because I was afraid of how expansive and how big this could be for me, now that I know that I am life. Life is in me. Life is this interconnectedness between all of us.
That's right.
So 2 weeks after the EI was my birthday. Birthday is a celebration of life. So I went, okay, how can I relate this now, knowing of what life is, to the celebration of my life, my birthday? And so I'm sitting with this, I'm creating space, because I really want to integrate this. I really want to live this truth. And I had a vision, another vision of where I saw my family tree, like this web of a family tree, where I again saw my daughter that I birthed to life, myself, my mother who birthed me, my mother's mother, my mother's mother's mother. But then on my dad's side, because there's other women that had to birth life to create my father, which came with my mother to create me. So I saw my dad's mother, my dad's mother's mother, and I just saw again this expansiveness of life, how expansive life really is, but also how interconnected it all is. So I started then the journey of the inquiry of wanting to know more about their life.
Okay.
And I called my mom and dad, and I asked them to describe their life. If they could describe their life, being that they are life, because I am life, can you describe their life, not their person, not their humanness, their life? And I said, in one word. And they described things like, my mother is an internal optimist. Her mother is a teacher. She just always had wisdom to share. Her mother's mother was a Spitfire, so she was determined and strong-willed, and just like get out of my way, I got stuff to do. My dad's mother was a nurturer. I mean, the true definition of a mother, when we think of what a mother is, just so soft and nurturing and tender and compassionate, just a beautiful soul. Her mother's mother was resilient. I mean, my dad told me stories of things that she had to go through in that generation that wasn't heard of, and multiple experiences where she was really challenged in life and she persevered. And so in celebration of my life, of my birthday, was really a celebration of the lives of all these other women.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Very expanded.
Very expanded. So where I personally have struggled with relationships and feeling connected, I have a bit of social awkwardness, a little social anxiety. My personality is very independent. I find a deep connection with family has been difficult and a challenge. I was always a bit of a loner. Now I feel so expanded. Like, I got my mom and dad to send me the family tree. It's like, I want to know the lives of these women, because in knowing their lives, I now know my life better. And when I feel myself getting stuck or brought up solid against a challenge in life, whether it's in the moment or it's a challenge today or it's a challenge I'm going through in a particular phase of my life, I can sit and connect to the greatness within the lives of all these women that have come before me. So I can tap into their energy, their spirit, and pull it in to mine.
Sure.
So if I'm struggling to be an optimist, if I'm struggling to have resiliency, I can go out for a moment, but I can pull it in and be reminded that it's already here. I don't need to find it. I don't need to look for it. These women already had it, and therefore it is also in me.
And we can continue to expand it in, like, all over the board. So it's not just your mother's mother.
No.
It's like incarnations. It's all the women that exist on earth. It's all the men that exist
thank you.
on earth.
Because I was writing this, because I'm working on an altar now to really celebrate that and to build even a deeper connection to these women who have passed on. And I went, I'm forgetting the men. But because my business and my world is the empowerment of women, so I just feel more connected to the women. Plus, women are the birth givers, thanks to my daughter, right? They're the ones that bring the physical form of life to life. And so, but absolutely, there's definitely so much more work here for me to do in connecting more with the men that are a part of this, because it's not just even my family.
Sure.
It's this interconnectedness universally.
And you connect it with the source of life.
Yes.
Right? So you're integrating it in this way, like little bit by little bit, whatever's happening in your life. But somewhere what the source of life is, that's what you connected with when you had a direct experience. So it's just going to continue to ooze and ooze and ooze and ooze.
Yes.
But continuing more processing, doing more enlightenment intensives, doing more personal work, it will just continue to expand.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's really about, you don't just become an enlightened being. You don't just go, I'm now enlightened. you have an enlightenment experience. You're now awakened to a new level of truth.
Yeah.
But you're still a human being having a human experience. So you're taking that truth, or I am, if I can own that, I'm taking this truth and integrating it into life, and I'm still going to be challenged.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to have to now take this truth and go, what does this truth mean relative to this aspect of my life, or this aspect of who I am, or what I'm experiencing now?
That's right.
And it forces you to go in and to go deeper.
And you go deeper.
But the beauty of it is that the deeper you go, the lighter you feel.
That's right, and the more beautiful it is.
It is. It is. It truly is the most freeing experience I think I have. I mean, I really feel that, I've even said to you before, I feel like I don't have any problems right now. So I'm at this stage of where I can be with this truth and integrate it in a way that works with whatever's coming up for me. And it's just a beautiful, expanded, real raw place to be, I guess.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just fabulous. Well, thank you, Courtney, for sharing
welcome.
your beautiful
Pleasure.
experiences with us. And you've tapped into the truth of who you are, and tapped into the truth of what life is.
Yeah.
And that will be just a continuing expansion for the rest of your life.
I know.
And there's more to explore, and there's more to experience, and it's just gorgeous.
I know.
Yeah, so thank you very much for sharing with our audience today. And well, that's it.
Yeah. So thank you.
And I wanted to ask you,
yes.
what would you like to offer our audience? Like, what would be a tip that you would give to them?
Do an EI. What a tip I would give? I would just say, whatever you're struggling with, reach out to Miranda. I mean, I have worked with you faithfully off and on for 8 years, and I think my biggest healing work, my biggest breakthroughs have come from the gifts that you offer, whether it's dyads on Monday night as a continued practice of mine to keep integrating this work, whether it's mind clearing sessions that you've offered. I've had great insights in those as well, and so I really would just encourage
The empowerment programs.
the empowerment programs. Yeah, so I've done a lot of those workshops as well. So I've done your meditation courses. I mean, there's so much that you've offered that I've done, and I can't say it's one singular thing.
No.
It's not one singular thing that I've done. It's the ongoing commitment to doing the work and investing in your services, and then being fully present and be a fully willing participant in it to get the most out of it.
You have to be committed to doing
You
this work,
have to be committed. At least start with the curiosity. I think if anything, I would say to the viewers, if you're curious, just reach out and have the conversation with Miranda. Share what you're struggling with, and she will point you in the direction, because that's what happened. Even in this first EI was that I had called you and said, I'm struggling with something. And you said, I really think you should take this EI. And I didn't plan on doing it, but you said, do it. And I did it, and look what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the greatest piece of guidance and advice I think you've ever given me in terms of guiding me where I needed to go. So I would say, if you're struggling with anything that really is keeping you stuck and not living to your greatest potential, then I would reach out and have a conversation. And then Miranda, trust that Miranda will put you in the right program, in the right environment for you to do the work, to be released from whatever troubles or problems that you have.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
very
welcome.
much, Courtney.
My pleasure.
So we'll end today's Truth Speaks with Courtney Rowsell, and we'll see you in the next Truth Speaks.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye.